Hey friends, and welcome back to the Napkin Notes podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Evans. I'm so grateful that you're here today. I am so excited about this episode that you guys are about to hear. I feel like she was a friend after she and I chatted. I hope that she feels the same way. It was our first time chatting, which if you guys have been following along on Napkin Notes for a while, you know that I don't even want to call it season one, but initially when I started recording, it was with, I was going to say friends, but like friends, previous clients, my family. So it was everybody's stories that I really knew. But now I feel like we're kind of entering into a new era, or we're adding in additional things to the mix. So I'm interviewing people that I didn't really know their backstory prior to, and it's been such a joy. And if you guys have your own podcast, you know that podcasting really expands your community. It's one of my favorite things about podcasting in general. But getting to know new people and interview them and walking away feeling like your friends afterwards, it's really, really a gift. So today's conversation is with Masey Mclain. She's an actress, writer, songwriter. She even sings. She's just so talented. I pretend like I can sing. I can't at all. When I first moved to Nashville, people asked me, did you move for singing? And absolutely not. Your girl, I wouldn't say I'm tone deaf. If you guys know my story about when I took a vocal lesson one time, it was the scariest thing I've ever done. I actually did a couple times. That's for another time. Our girl Masey can sing, and she's an actress, so you may know her from some of her work. She was in The Baxters, the TV series based on Karen Kingsbury's best-selling books. She was Rachel Joy Scott in the movie I Am Not Ashamed. But what I'm talking to her about is the upcoming film that is now out called Soul on Fire. The movie was directed by Sean McNamara, which I'm not a girl that like knows all the directors of movies, but Sean has done some iconic movies from Soul Surfer, and then this might be a deep cut, but Raise Your Voice with Hilary Duff from the early 2000s. So you know that Soul on Fire, with Sean in the mix and Masey acting, it's already going to be a classic. So I want to lay a little bit of groundwork because, of course, Masey and I talk a lot about her upbringing and how she met her husband, all the things that you want included in a girl chat. But I want to lay some groundwork first on the movie Soul on Fire so that you guys, before we hop into the conversation, you got some background on it. So Soul on Fire is a movie based on John O'Leary's life. So when John was just 9, he was in a terrible accident where he was burned on 100% of his body and given less than a 1% chance to live. The movie follows his life as he overcomes and perseveres with the support of his friends and his family and some unexpected friends along the way. Of course, his faith is a large aspect of that. And it's truly a story of hope and redemption. And Beth's role in the movie is John's wife. And it is this fierce and grounding female character in the movie, and also of course in John's life, that you'll hear us in the episode talk about how there's a couple Beth moments that I hope that I can bring into my personal life as well. So that's just some of the groundwork that I wanted to lay for you guys before we jump in. Soul on Fire is out in theaters, so if you need something to do this weekend, highly recommend seeing it. Definitely bring your tissues with you. And you'll hear us talk about a specific spot in or specific scene in the movie that really struck me. So if you end up seeing it, which you absolutely should, you'll have to let me know if it struck you as much as it did for me, but listen to the episode to hear exactly what I'm talking about. But you guys, Masey has lived such a fun life. I can't wait for you to learn more about her. We talk about how she met her husband in an unexpected way, which seems to be a common theme in my episodes these days. You'll hear this in a couple of the upcoming episodes too. She said one thing in here, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it, about how to uncover your giftings and how to execute on them. It really reframed a couple things for me. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode as much as I did recording it. Go see Soul on Fire in theaters and come back and let me know in my DMs if you liked the moments that we talk about in this episode as much as I did. Here is my conversation with Masey Mclain. Before we hopped on today, you had to remove a flamingo from the back. Where are you today? Are you on vacation?
Yes. Well, it's funny. I'm semi on vacation.
Okay.
I was telling my husband, I was laughing. My vacation this summer looks like I got up at 6 a.m. to go walk on the beach before my writer's room started. I'm in a writer's room for a TV show, and it's all day long. And this interview is during my break. So after, so my vacation is like getting up in the morning to walk on the beach, write all day, create plots all day, and then go eat seafood at night. But we have friends here too, so my husband's off playing and riding bikes and doing all the things. But I was also thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? I've worked for to get like for this moment to be able to like be in a writer's room, to create TV shows, to do interviews for a movie that I have coming out. Like, I never want to be the one to complain of like, oh, I don't have vacation time. It's like, no, you work so
I
hard
worked for
to
this.
to 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 be here, and I just want to enjoy that and get up at 6 a.m. to walk on the beach for my, to talk to God and look at the ocean, and that's vacation to me right now.
Yeah. Are you able to tell us about the TV show you're currently writing for?
Yes, it's called Blue Ridge, and it's
Okay.
actually been in Amazon top 5 for a while.
Mm,
Season 1 has, and, it's yeah, so it's been pretty successful, and me and my writing partner, my writing and producing partner, Taylor Kalupa, we got to write on Season 2, and then now we're a part of really crafting Season 3. We'll write episodes on Season 3, but we're also a part of, like, helping craft the entirety of the season, which is kind of going through every episode, what's gonna happen, kinda beat by beat.
yeah.
So it's like you got about 8 to 9 of us, and it's just fun because 'cause you're just, like, throwing out ideas, you trust each other. I was, like, thinking yesterday, I was like, "Wow, my job is really fun." Like,
Yeah. You just
yeah.
lit up as you were talking about it too. Um,
Yeah.
when you are a writer on a show, this is my ignorance of that part of the industry. Are you part of the filming process at all? Are you on set if you write?
So not usually.
Okay.
Usually writers live in a cave
Okay,
and
great. Or at the beach.
or at the beach, and you just kind of just very behind the scenes. I think it's different with Taylor and I are both actors, so we're both like in front of the camera a lot, and we kind of created this brand of actors that are also writers that are also producing, but we're less in the cave writers, and we're more going on set and being a
Okay.
part of the process. And we've worked with amazing people that have allowed us to do that. Like, very rarely writers get invited to set. So we've just worked with some incredible people that really believe in us and just will call us and say, hey, you wrote this episode. Do you want to come? Do you want to come, like, enjoy it and be on set? And
Cool.
one of our favorite people is Candace Cameron Bure, and she
Yes.
really pulled us aside couple years ago and was like, "Hey, I really want to teach you some things in producing. Like, do you want to come on set for 2 weeks? And I want to mentor you." And she
Wow.
just taught us and
What a
continues
gift.
to teach us. Yeah, so many things. And it's just very gracious people in the industry that look at you and they're like, "I believe in you, and I want to pull you up too."
Wow.
And um, yeah, I've experienced that really with um, some just a lot of people, because this industry can be very like, I want to be at the top,
Mhm.
and I don't want to help people that are coming up,
Mhm.
but we've just got to work with very gracious people that are like, let me take your hand, and I will pull you up, like, come up
Wow.
here with me.
What a
And it's been a
gift.
gift. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of put in so Alexa Penavega was on the show in December, so I don't know if y'all's paths have ever crossed, but I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
put together, like, Candace Cameron Bure, Alexa Penavega, Laura Osnes, you, and this sort of just, like, women, faith-based, amazing storytellers, and I say that in the sense of, like, you guys aren't just actresses, like you said, it's the
Yeah.
writing, producing, storytelling, so to me, it's really cool as a consumer of the content to see that and to also know that there's just, like, one extra level of relief knowing that the content that you're watching, you don't have to, like, pray over yourself afterwards to, like, break off any kind of
Mm,
spirits after you're watching something, like, I when I watch y'all stuff, like, I really do feel like I can just sit back and relax and watch because I know that this is going to be, 1, entertaining, but 2, um, I'm not going to feel spiritually uncomfortable afterwards either,
yeah.
if that makes
Oh,
sense.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
That's what we want to put out in the world. And I mean, whether it's acting or writing or producing, me and Taylor talk about all the time. It's like there's a lot of power in how you use your voice, and God's
Yeah.
given us a voice for a reason. And so, whatever projects we're a part of, really, we love the theme of even like redemption
Hmm.
being a stamp on what we're a part of, and that isn't always. It doesn't always have to be a faith story. It can be a thriller. It can be a mystery. It can
Yeah.
be anything. Like, we're actually producing alongside Roma Downey a new, I can't say a lot about it, but but a really awesome new project. And
Okay,
we're
amazing.
so excited about it. And it's not a faith story, but it's actually a book and it was a book first. And I was reading the book, we were both reading it, and I was like, man, the writer of this book has to be like, I just really feel like they're a believer.
Hmm.
And, but there was no like, not saying
Gospel-centric plot
there was
line.
no buzzwords in there to tell you that, but I was like, man, there's just something flowing out of her that is just like, I can't put my finger on it. And I went and looked her up and I was like, okay, yes. And I just love the way that she hasn't separated her values or who she
Yes.
is from
Yes.
her work. And it doesn't mean it has to be in your face or faith forward all the time. It just is
Mhm.
like woven in who she is. And that really is the kind of work I want to do of just like it's not separated from who I am. Like
Yeah.
obviously I'll play different characters that aren't good.
Yeah.
but I just want I don't know, I just want the stamp of redemption, especially in what I write and produce, to always kind of be there in
Mhm.
whatever form that takes.
Yeah. I love that because I feel like previously, when there were faith-based pieces of content, it
Yeah.
wasn't always done with either, like, the budget or the excellence of talent. It was always just kind of like you could
Yeah.
tell it was, like, a Christian faith-based film. It's
Yeah.
really cool now that I think that level of excellence within the believer community of creatives is rising to what it would be like in a secular situation as well. So it's been also just like cool as a consumer to watch that. I know a lot of that is coming out of Nashville. So I lived in Nashville for 6 years. I was in Franklin. So like just being on like the outskirts and like somewhat in the fabric of that, it was just really cool to see that come up. I don't know if you know Ken Carpenter. He's a
Yeah.
friend. Yeah. He and I used to
Aw.
have this feels like when we were both just like starting out in the industry, we were at eSpaces together. So we were both just like in a common workspace. And then whenever I go back to Franklin, which is I try to go at least once a quarter, I somehow
Yeah.
just run into him at a coffee shop downtown. So
The
it's just
best.
always fun when those like circles come around. But
Yeah.
um yeah, it makes me excited because I'm not a huge TV watcher or a huge movie watcher any longer,
Mhm.
and mostly that is just because I'm so busy in this season of life, and I keep saying that, and that's probably been like a 6-year-long season, um, but being able to watch Soul on Fire last night, and then there's even just, like, a couple other things this week, it makes me feel so grounded because it's such, like, a
Mm.
storytelling, exercise, getting outside, those were things that just really fall to the wayside for me when I get busy, but are some of the things that ground me the most. So it was so enjoyable to sit and watch that last night. So thank you again
Mm.
for your work on that. Um, Tell me a little bit about your character Beth in the movie. And I guess maybe tell me like the first time you read part of the script. What did you feel when you first read that?
Oh, it was really interesting because I got the script like pretty soon after I had walked through a season that felt like I had kind of walked through the fire in a sense.
Interesting.
It felt like I felt just like completely like, God, what is going on? And kind of, if you've ever had those times where you're like, I'm in the pit right now and
Yeah.
I can't get out, kind of like how John is in this movie, um, and doesn't know how to walk through it, Um, and I'll never forget, I had a counselor that is now a mentor, and during that time, she was like, "Macy, I need you to choose to believe that you can walk through this season.
Hmm.
Like you have to choose to believe it rather than like wallow in depression or because you can get stuck in those cycles and comfortable in depression, comfortable in the pit. You really can." And she was just like, "I need you to choose." And that was such a simple sentence, but it ignited something in me.
Yeah.
And I love the themes in this movie of when his mom is, I don't want to give away too much, but when his mom is like, you have to choose. Do you
Yeah.
want to live? And I just love that because I just think, man, when I read this script, the power of choice that we have to be the ones to choose is such a powerful message today that no one can really do it for you. People can pray for you and believe in you, but I really think there's just such power in you being the one to say, like, no, I choose to live. I choose to get through this season. I choose to keep going and I choose to not stay in depression. Um, and so during my season that I was in, I just really had to practice that of choosing every single day. Like, God, I believe that you work all things together for good. I
Yeah.
believe that you are going to turn this all, around and for my good. I believe that you will redeem my life for the pit. Like, I just had to constantly quote these things and choose. And so I got the script right after I had kind of stepped out of that
Wow.
season. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, God, you're so cool. And there's been, there's, really with the projects I've done, I've had this really strange sense when I've gotten a script of like, I'm the one to tell this story. Like,
Wow.
I am the one to do this one. And I auditioned for a million things. And there's definitely been times where I'm like, oh, I want this one. But there's something different about these projects that it's been like, no, this one's actually mine to tell.
Hmm.
And I had that feeling when I got the script. And I love Beth so much. Beth is, man, just someone I resonate just so deeply with and I wanted to step in her shoes so bad because I also think we need more Beths in the world
Mm-hmm.
and we need more Nurse Roys in the world. We need more
Mm-hmm.
Jack Bucks in the world. Of Beth is someone that looks at his brokenness and is like, you are not defined by that. Like, I see you. I don't see the scars. And she constantly calls John forth into his destiny,
Mm-hmm.
into his purpose. And again, if we could go out into the world and I mean, all of us are kind of walking around with turtlenecks on, if you will, right? Because in the sense of like, John does that because he's so
Covering up.
embarrassed by his scars.
Mm-hmm.
We all have scars. We all have things we are so ashamed of and or don't want people to see or embarrassed about or insecure about. And man, I just love that Beth looks at him and she's just like, I see you. Like, you don't have to wear the turtleneck. And she doesn't make him feel like he is defined by what's marred on his body or
Yeah.
what's even marred in his heart. She just calls him forth. And I just think, man, if we did that to people we came in contact with, I think we would set the world on fire in the best way.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a line in the movie when you were in the hallway, and it was a year after you guys had initially met in the plot line, and I can't remember where you were working at the time in the movie, but John came and asked her out for the first time a year after they met, and you
Yeah.
looked back at him and said something along the lines of, "John, don't ever underestimate me like that again."
Yeah.
Do you remember that specific line?
Oh, yes. Don't you ever under it. Yes, for
Girl,
sure.
can you deliver it for us? Because when you said that, I was like, "Oh, wow, like, that is something that I am going to remember, like, I am standing at
Oh
attention."
my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know what's so funny is that I think that was the original take we used because I did it that way. And then I remember we did that take like a bunch of different times because they didn't know how we wanted to, if that was like too like serious at him or if she wanted to be a little lighter about it, like don't ever under. Um, but I don't know. I kind of felt really strongly. I was like, no, I think she's hurt that he would think
Yeah.
she wouldn't see him for who he is or that she would not want to go out with him. Like, I think she's kind of offended by that.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's funny to think back on because of how many different angles people kind of wanted to go at that line with.
Yeah.
And I think we ended up using the original take, but
It really struck me when you did it in the movie.
okay, then I'm going to let people want to go watch the movie to hear
Okay,
it.
cool, perfect, and that way we don't have to go back and ask Nicole, like, "Hey, we just had a line from the movie, is that okay to keep
I know,
in?"
I know. I
But
was like,
yeah,
oh.
yes, that to me, I don't know, for whatever reason, that was just, like, such a
I'm so
turning point
glad.
that really pulled me in, so I'm glad that you guys went with that
Aw,
take because that to me was really memorable.
I'm so
Um,
glad.
there was another part in the movie where you grabbed him and you kissed him, and I was like, "That
Yes,
takes confidence." Is that
she was
scary
ready.
just having people watch you on set do that? Like, or is that
Do
just a part of the
It
situation of
really
acting?
is just a part of the situation of
Okay.
acting. Like, you kind of are just so, like, in the zone of, like, okay, this is Beth. You're really thinking this is Beth's moment. Like, this is Beth's moment of we just had how much can I say? A near-death experience. I'll say that. That doesn't
Perfect.
give away enough. We just had a near-death experience and, like, like, I don't wanna live another day without you, and I'm gonna stop reserving actually how deeply I care for you, and I'm gonna let you know in this moment. And I don't know, you really just you put yourself in Beth's shoes,
Yeah.
and that's what I do of like, this is Beth's moment to let him know So girl, go let him know. And so, but no, it's really, as weird as that sounds, it's really not
Yeah.
weird to me because it's just always been a part of my job.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like
There it is.
kind of another thing.
Well, for whatever reason, that was another there was I mean, obviously so many memorable moments about the movie, but that was another one because I'm single, not married, never have been married, but I was like, when I go after my man like that, that's when I'm
That's
gonna
right.
know. Like, that was another thing that I took away
That's
from
right. You want to
from
have that
Beth's
Beth
role.
moment.
I wanna
Yes.
have that Beth moment.
Amen, girl.
Yes, so keep praying for my future husband out there. My
I
mom would love for
will.
me to be married at some point in time too. She
Okay,
said
after
that
this, we'll
she'll
have to talk about type and what you're looking for and all the things in case I know anyone. You never know.
Oh, I would love that. Well, I'll ask you that then. How did you know your husband was the one?
Oh my goodness. First of all, he's the greatest. He knew first. I will say that he knew first.
Okay, we
This
love
man,
a
I'll
man
just I'll
that's
just give
confident.
you, he pursued me so hard. Okay, so before my husband, I never knew what it was like to be pursued, really, in the way that I believe we're supposed to
Wow.
be. I just really didn't. I want to be careful how I talk about other people, but I just didn't date the best guys.
Sure,
and,
sure.
and that we just weren't right for each other. I'll
Yeah.
say that. We weren't right for each other, obviously. And I just never knew what it was like. And so this man, my husband, I was living in LA. Well, before I moved to LA, we were both speaking at an event in Atlanta. And he asked me out at the end of the event. And I said, no, I'm going to LA to chase my dreams, basically.
Okay. And
And
how
because
old were you at this point?
I was 24,
Okay.
24, beginning of 24. And I dated guys, I felt like in the past that I just couldn't fly with. Like, I was like, I am ready to go finally do what I want to do and not worry about how I'm affecting people, in the sense of like in a relationship and when
Mm,
it's just not right.
right.
And so I was like, I'm going to chase my dreams. Goodbye. But you're really cute.
Yeah.
And so and so
Aw.
I flew to LA and I was out there and he just wasn't really affected by it. He was like, "Okay." He was affected by it. He just didn't show me, but he was just like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh man, he actually wasn't that disappointed." Oh well. And so I was out in LA and he just kept checking on me like all the time. He'd just be like, "Hey, I just want to see how you're doing. How can I pray for you?" And he would just randomly. And then it was Valentine's Day. The day before Valentine's Day, he texted me. We barely knew each other. And he was like, "Hey, I have a business meeting in LA tomorrow. Will you come pick me up?" And I believed it. Like his job and his personality, if you knew my husband, like he knows people all over the country. His job, he's just such like a renaissance guy. He can do anything. So I was like, okay, he would have a business meeting in LA. I'll go pick him up. But I was like, it's also kind of weird because it's Valentine's Day. And so I picked him up and he was like, okay, there's no business meeting. You're my business meeting. And so he was like, I am here to take you on a date.
And
And I
had
was
you guys
like,
been FaceTiming or calling at
not
any point?
really. It was
Okay.
like I think maybe I think we FaceTime once, but it was like I asked him, which this is probably I was probably being flirtatious on my part. I asked him to like help me with something for my audition. I needed help uploading and I couldn't
Perfect.
figure out the program. And I was
Yeah.
like, can you help me? Because you're really good at this stuff. And I think that was the only thing. But he told me he was like, I was, he said, I landed in LA and I thought, oh my word, what am I doing? This could go horribly wrong. But he was like, I'm going to take the risk. Let's go for it. And so he took me on a date and it was the most magical Malibu date ever. And
How much time had
there's more
passed
to the story,
between
but
your meeting and this first, I would say, random business meeting date?
oh gosh, I think a couple months.
Okay, so it wasn't like the week after.
No, he
Okay, so he
plotted.
kept thinking about you and knew that you were the one right off the bat.
He said he really knew he was like, I have to try to pursue her. I cannot not pursue her.
Wow.
And then he knew early on into dating I was the one.
Okay, so he had that deep knowing too.
He had that deep knowing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Okay, well, I love that. I'm gonna be praying for my Beth moment, but also my Macy
Yes,
moment. Moving forward, we're
yes.
going to merge the two together.
Right.
Did you always know you wanted to be an actress, Macy?
No. I started. I played sports growing up, so I
Okay.
played basketball and I
Are
ran.
you tall?
I'm almost 5'7".
Okay.
So I'm not tall enough.
Okay.
I mean, now I low-key love the WNBA, which I know some people make fun of. But
I need to get
but
into
I
it.
low-key love it because of Caitlin Clark, and I love it. I now know all the girls, and I am very much like, in another life, I could have played. But
Yes. You'll have
but
to
that was
inform
not
me, keep
my
me updated on the WNBA
I
stats.
will, I will. But that was not my path. No, I started doing plays in high school, and I just loved it. I felt like I could disappear into a character and come alive.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I just felt like I could fly when I was acting, and I still feel like that today. Even I love writing. I love writing. I love stepping into producing, but acting is that thing that it's that I feel like we all kind of have that thing of like, what do you do that makes you kind of come alive and feel like you can fly? And I feel like that's always kind of been that for me. And after that, I ended up getting an agent and did small commercials here and there, but it was brutal. I mean, acting, you audition for like 100 things before you book one thing. Even now, after you're like working a lot, you still have to audition for a ton of things and mostly told no because you're up against thousands of other people every time. So it was hard as a teenager trying to navigate that. But I'm kind of at this place, and I've said this before in an interview, but where I almost feel like our gifts are just such tools for sanctification. Like, rather than our gifts being the thing that we're like, oh, I'm supposed to do this thing in the world. Yes, God's going to work through you to do amazing things. And oh my goodness, he gives us good gifts, out of the goodness of his heart because he loves us and he wants us to, go make an impact or go fly, go do the thing you love. But also I've noticed in my life in acting has really been such a means of sanctification, just the journey of it and the process of it. And it's just been cool because I'm like, Lord, you really are the goal. Like, even when I do get to do my dream roles or I get this project, there's absolutely nothing like just him. And so I'm like, all of this is really just means that you're going to work through my heart and life in. And that's actually the point of it all. So
that really flips the script on that, because I feel like with giftings, and especially ones that can be more on display, whether it's a worship leader or an actor or somebody that's in front of the camera, it can get so self-focused. But using that not to glorify yourself, but using it as like a sanctification process is a different way to think about it. I like that because I've always said, it's such a privilege that we get to execute on our giftings that the Lord has given us, and trying to find that kind of ease. I think you were saying that, you can fly. It's like think of it of like just like the favor of the Lord when you do have that ease despite obstacles being present, but still not doing it all about ourselves. It is still that process of getting to know the Lord more and sanctifying ourselves. I think is just like a different way to think about that. Yeah, I love that.
I was, obviously we all know the song Silent Night.
Yes.
And there's one tiny little line that stuck out to me this year that's never stuck out to me.
Oh, what was
and
it?
Just the line that says, and fit us for heaven to live with you there. I don't know why, but this year for some reason, God just like deposited that line into my heart. And it was like the whole time of your time on the earth, I am fitting you for heaven. And it makes me want to, it's just like, wow. And so every time, and it's often that I tend to get like, too zoned in on what I'm doing or myself or career or all these things. I've kind of been going back to that line of I am being fit for heaven. And that is actually the goal of all of this. How cool. And it kind of makes everything else way more fun and freeing because it's not the goal. It's just a part of the journey.
I get asked the question a lot, how do I find my purpose? Like, how did I find my thing? Because I worked a 9 to 5 in Virginia. I was data analyst. So my background was in economics, math, and statistics. And then in 2019, I quit my job and started my podcast production agency. And then last year, launched my own podcast. And so I get the question a lot of like, how did you find the courage to leave? How did you find your purpose? How did you even discover your thing? Ian Cron was on last year as well. He's out of Nashville. He's written some books about the Enneagram. But the way he phrased it similarly to you was, he said, what errand is God calling you to run on this side of heaven? And I thought that just simplified the process so much.
Yeah.
I think we can, especially me, I can overanalyze and over criticize and think about everything 1,000 which ways to see what the outcome will be. But I think having those tidbits to simplify what God has called us here to do. If a girl was coming to you and they were sitting down with you over coffee and they were asking, Masey, like, how can I find my purpose? How can I find my gifting of what you call, like, being able to fly with it? What would you tell that person?
Mm. I think I would really tell them, I know it sounds so simple, but I would really tell them to cultivate their intimacy with the Lord. And
Yeah.
I think so many times, and I am guilty of this, of viewing God as some far off thing that I have to like, oh my gosh, I hope I'm pleasing him, or I hope, oh, I'm so sorry I haven't been close to you this week. I think we get trapped in those little things sometimes. And
Yeah.
I just think, man, he is such a loving father that loves his kids, and he wants to talk to you and tell you how he created you.
Mhm.
And he wants to talk to you about, hey, like, I've gifted you in this way. Like, he actually is the giver of all good things. So I think I would tell her of just the more intimacy you cultivate with the Lord, and the more he's going to reveal things about himself, about how he's made you, about things that make you come alive. And then also, my husband he's really good about this. And I can get sometimes stuck on like, oh, what if I'm going the wrong way or something? And he always kind of tells me of like, he kind of views life as God's given us this big field. And he's like, go play, go see what you want to build, go have fun, like go try something. And it's like kind of exciting because you're like, I think if you view it all of like, I'm going to do this with the Lord, he's going to help you, and he's going to show you, and he's going to delight in you as you do it. I think it can be such a freeing thing to find your purpose, quote unquote, of what makes you come alive.
Right.
I just think do it with your creator, because there's no one that knows you better than the one that made you.
Yeah.
So he's going to reveal what makes you come alive.
Mm. And if that means flying to LA on Valentine's Day for a business meeting, that means flying to LA for a business meeting.
That's my risk taker, man. He's just like, there it is, I'm going to go.
Love it. Was there somebody growing up that really helped you cultivate your passion for acting that you might not be Maisie the actress today without this person in your life growing up?
So I kind of have two people that have come to mind. My hero growing up was Rebecca St. James.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know who that is. But did you see the movie Unsung Hero for King and Country?
I didn't.
If you
Mariah was in that,
haven't-
right?
Oh, yes.
I haven't
she
seen it.
produced it. She helped
Okay.
produce it.
Okay.
It is phenomenal.
Okay.
It is so good.
No, I
but
didn't see it
she's
yet.
one of the main characters. Rebecca St. James is portrayed in it as one of the main characters. Anyways,
I think she was also that same name as like the name of I think a Christy Woodson Harvey book recently. So I was like, are we talking about a book character? But this is a
you're
real life
she
person.
does live in fiction world a lot.
Yeah,
So
I was like, I think it came out just a couple years ago, but there's just make sure. Okay, so
That's so funny.
okay. So the Unsung Hero movie.
Yes, it is so sorry. I dropped my smoothie. Okay, sorry. Anyways, Rebecca St. James was she was one of the first female entertainers in the Christian space to kind of blaze a trail.
Wow.
And she was so cool. I mean, she would wear the coolest outfits. She was like so unapologetically herself, so unique, but she always, no matter how entertaining her concerts were, she always pointed you back to the heart of God. And it was actually at a Rebecca St. James concert that again, that deep knowing, that deep whisper, felt the Lord, the Holy Spirit whisper to my heart of, truly, that you will be in entertainment one day. And I was young, and I didn't know what to do with that. I told my mom, and I think I wrote it in my journal, and I didn't know how in the world that would happen, because I lived in like a really small, I lived in just like South Georgia, where no one was going to be in entertainment. And we were far from Atlanta. The entertainment space had not come to Atlanta yet. It was like, how in the world is that ever going to happen?
Yeah.
But he kind of planted that seed in my heart then. And man, just looking back on how the Lord has just carved out the path since that night.
Wow.
Through entertainment. And it's been a crazy journey, and an amazing and awful and wonderful journey, and all the of life. But it's just really cool. But I think she was so impactful to me just because I just thought she was so unapologetically herself and entertained in the coolest way, but also her heart was so refined for the Lord. And it just flowed out of her. And I thought, I want to be like that. That's how I want my life to be marked.
Wow.
So she's definitely someone I credit that to. And also someone I'm working with now, Roma Downey, if you know who she is.
I don't think
She's
so.
incredible. She played my mom on The Baxters.
Okay.
But
and that was based off of Karen Kingsbury's books, right?
Yes.
Okay. My mom loves her books. And then when I moved to Franklin in 2016, just seeing her stuff in the on Bridge Street, I think it was, or right next to it in the bookstore, down there.
Yeah, so I read all of Karen's books in high school. And then I got to audition to play my favorite character. It was so insane.
Wow.
But
what a full circle moment. I can't imagine what that felt like.
It was wild. It was absolutely wild. I was like, God. And it happened, the auditions happened to be the week I moved to LA. So if I hadn't have moved to LA that week, I would have missed it. I would have not gotten to audition.
Wow.
So it was crazy. It was
Timing
so wild.
Truly is everything.
Everything.
Wow.
Like God knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
We're just, got to be along for the ride.
We have the choice to say yes.
We have a choice to say yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Back to the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, Roma, I actually, sorry, a plane's passing by, but it's almost
totally
done.
Good.
I saw Roma at an event when I was, I think, 20. So I was older at that point. This is past growing up, but I was 20, and the way she carried herself and just graciousness just flowed out of her, but also a confidence that I just, like a very grounded confidence that I was like, ooh, I really love that. And she spoke at this event that I was at, and afterwards, the entire group of people, this was a massive room, just flooded to go talk to her. And I had this moment where I was standing in the back, and there was no way I was going to get to talk to Roma. No way. And I prayed, I said, God, if I can ever just meet Roma, I know tonight is impossible. That would be awesome. That's literally all I said. And flash forward to 5 years later, I get the audition for the Baxters, and she's playing my mom.
Wow.
And I was like, what? I had no idea.
Talk about overachieving out of an expectation.
Oh, right. I was like, God, I literally just asked to meet her. And you were like, above and beyond.
Yes. Wow.
And I mean, she's crazy. And now I'm working with her as a project that me and my writing partner are writing, and we're producing alongside of her. And I ended up calling her about this project, and I was like, Roma, I know this is a bold ask, but will you do this with me? We're really passionate about this project. Will you come alongside us to produce it? And she was just like, I believe in you. So yes, like I'm gonna do this because like I believe in you, and I wanna do this with you. And I was just reminded of that moment of me standing in the back of that room, having no way myself to get to her. And now I'm getting to produce alongside of her. And I'm just like, God, you are so amazing.
Wow. Becoming peers and, your mentor, somebody that you look up to.
Oh, my word.
Just
so much.
And saying yes to the path that the Lord had for you. And also being bold enough to ask the Lord for certain things, I think is also an important element of that. So we can look back and be reminded, like, I asked for this, and seeing his faithfulness through things like that. I like to end my episodes kind of calling back to those people that helped form us and cultivate passions in our life. So I wonder, is there something that Roma has said, or like a phrase that she's known for that has really impacted you, that, let's say if you were to leave like a note on a napkin that she has said, what would you write down of words that she said that are really impactful?
My favorite phrase that Roma uses is, it is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. So me
chills.
Me too, every time I think about it.
And I have my headphones stuck in here. I lit a candle. It's off screen. It's in like the full screen over here. I never do that before an interview. This situation that you brought that up, like I have two over there. I was like, my mom's going to watch the decor of this and think, why do you have two candles next to each other? But maybe I just felt prompted from the Lord to do that with Roma's words.
That is amazing. It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. And I try to carry that in every project I do, or every space you're in. whatever room you're in, it's better to light a candle than to curse the darkness.
Wow.
So bring that little light in.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing that. Well, Masey, this is an amazing interview. I have 1,000 more that I could ask you if we had 1,000 more hours, but this has been such a delight. Thank you so much you talked about at the beginning about showing up presently for your projects, but I feel like you showed up really presently today too. And that's a gift to me. So thank you with everything else that you have going on.
Thank you so
where
much.
can everybody find you? Where can we follow you? And when will Soul on Fire be out?
Yes. So you can find me I'm mainly on Instagram. I will say I ditched TikTok years ago and never returned.
I posted
I've
my
thought
first
about
one
returning.
yesterday.
You did? But you
Yes.
ditched it yesterday?
No, I put up my first one yesterday, so I'm on an
Oh, you
opposite
did?
journey. Yes,
Okay,
I have a
well-
friend in my new town that's a Gen Zer, and she's like, "Elizabeth, we gotta get you on TikTok."
Listen, I totally get it. And I should return. So I'm working on it. So I might be on that journey with you.
Okay.
I just, in the season that I deleted it, I needed to delete it. It was
Okay,
kind
that's
of like,
right. Yeah.
I can't build. I felt like I couldn't build what I was trying to build, which was things in my career, and while also trying to stay relevant
Be a
on
full-time
TikTok. I was like,
content
I
creator?
can't learn these dances. Yeah.
How am I supposed to know what the trendy audio is? It's a
can't do
whole
it.
other full-time job. No,
It's a
I
whole
feel
other
you.
full-time job. And I really had to think. I was like, what do I want to invest in building right now? And
Instagram.
to a fault, I probably shouldn't have just like deleted it. But
Cold turkey.
some people on my team were like, you crazy. Like, what are you doing? Anyways, I'll probably return. So anyways,
Okay.
but right now, Instagram is really where I'm at. So it's at Masey Mclain. It's spelled pretty differently. MaseymClain. A lot of people call me Maisie and Massey. I will not respond to Massey. I will respond to Maisie.
That's
I think Maisie's,
understandable.
like, sweet.
Massey's tough. There's not two
Massey's
S's in
like,
there.
do I look like a Massey? You know what I mean? I'm like, let's like context clues.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, also
you know?
phonetically, I don't know if that makes as much sense
Yeah,
either.
I'm like, why was that your first guess?
Yeah.
You know? But no, it's actually Macy. Like the store just sounds just spelled different. My parents, they were just like, this will be fun.
My first name is technically Margaret. I go by my middle name, which is Elizabeth, so I feel ya on that.
You get it.
I do.
You totally get it.
It's way too much. And then when is
I
Soul
love
on
it.
Fire out?
And Soul on Fire is out October 10th.
Okay. Not Massey. Thank you so much for your time today. And I'll talk to
Absolutely.
you soon. Have a good one.
You too.